Today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Are you ready to make a difference this holiday season? Schwiezo Construction and TMCO are hosting a diaper drive December 5th through the 19th. They're collecting diapers, pull-ups, and wipes to benefit TMCO Prep Academy, the Nebraska Diaper Bank, and Forward. Drop off your donations at Schwiezo Construction, 93.7 The Ticket, Pine Lake Self-Storage, or White Elm Brewery. Together, we care for our community. For more information, please visit Schwiezo Construction's website or Facebook page today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here a roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
It's been a busy day in sports. A lot has happened while you were up to your eyeballs in work. Catch up on what went down in Nebraska athletics, college sports, and your favorite pro sports leagues. This is Late Night in Lincoln, live on 93.7 The Ticket, sponsored by Canopy Street Market. Here are your hosts, Harrison Ahrens and Derek Pearson.
It is 11:02 in the city. Lincoln, Nebraska. It is 49 degrees. So we will count this as a gorgeous day. Well done.
Yeah, I think when you get to past mid-December, anything above freezing's a win.
Well, it's going to drop though. It's going to drop immediately. It's supposed to rain overnight, and then tomorrow morning it'll be 37.
I mean the high over freezing. Like, you just got to get the high.
Oh no! Tomorrow at 12 noon it hits 31 and it goes down.
Damn. All right. Well, there goes that.
It goes down.
I thought we had it through all weekend. I guess
no, it'll go down. It'll be 23 tomorrow night when we do the show.
All right. Last time I'm wearing shorts for a while.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, you'll get some of it back apparently.
Or does heat back
it'll
up
get
again?
back to 54 on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. So remember we talked about warm Christmas?
Yeah, that's right.
55-ish.
I guess that's what that wind
55,
is.
50 to 55.
I think when you're leaving, the wind's going to be blowing you over. It's going to be gusts supposed to pick up with the cold weather behind it. So
yeah, and I'm trying to figure out.
I think it's closer to 1 a.m. though, to be fair. So
yeah, well,
should be fine.
We're trying to figure out what the holiday is going to be. It looks like we're going to be here. At least I'll be here.
Do you normally go to a certain place?
Normally we're in New York City.
Yeah. I thought you did last year.
Last year we went with the basketball team to Hawaii.
Oh, I mean, that's a good Christmas.
That we went with the hoops team to Hawaii.
And they went undefeated and won that tournament.
They won. I'm just good luck. I'm just good luck. The problem was that the reason why volleyball lost, I wasn't here. That's why they lost. I apologize. I apologize.
Were you there last year?
Until they lost. I wasn't there at the Final Four. I wasn't at the Final Four.
Holy smokes, DP. Knock it off.
It's my fault. I fully accept my bad.
I'll have Manny Munson. Just
Yeah.
make sure to grab
Well,
you and tie cinder blocks to your feet until the game's over. That's
Yeah,
what
I mean,
takes.
it's my fault. I fully engage that being there. Although I can't say that anymore because Cena, I was there for Cena and he lost. So
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
true.
but that doesn't really count. And fine, like okay, I'm a pretty good luck. I'm a pretty good.
Well, for
good
the
luck
most
charm.
part, yeah.
I'm a pretty good luck charm.
Except for when it comes to people hitting you with cars and
well, in
whatnot.
Husker football.
Yeah, well, that's no fortune
there's
of luck
no amount of luck
can change the tide of that team other than hard work.
No amount of luck.
I think they've used all of their luck. They're just keeping that solid streak alive.
No, something has to break the streak, and you know everybody. They keep saying sacrifice the little red. I don't think that's necessary.
No, we just need good football. Whatever
that
it takes
part.
to do that.
That part.
Yeah. I'm not a big superstitious guy. So
Well, we were talking about Anthony Linehart Smith and I were talking about it earlier today, and he's such a free thinker when it comes to this stuff about what would be required. Like if we were to name him, like we named him the temporary GM of Nebraska football, and in his State of the Union address, what are the things that he would address, and how would he get the program right? And immediately we got into the right and wrong questions to ask, because in order to fix a thing, you have to identify what's wrong with the thing and then figure out what is the clearest, straightest path to immediate they're not necessarily tied together, and or long-term success. So are you going to win? How are you going to get it so that you don't suck?
Mm-hmm.
And then to win, and then win consistently, and then win at the highest level consistently. And the plan is required, that you have to have a plan for those steps. And depending on the leadership, you have to determine which path are you going to take. Are you you're going to go Indiana, right? And I guarantee you that Cignetti's plan was a 5-year plan, but because of how he put it together, it worked right away.
Well, and it started in James Madison.
Well, he had success.
It was a
so
continuation of the plan that was already in progress.
Well, but I mean, it's a new house, man. It
new house with the same dudes, though.
Well, think about it this way: us at 48th and 0, I can tell you it was the ticket at 48th and 0 with some of the same players, or at least some of the same belief systems. Entirely different world here, different expectation, different optics, different accountabilities and responsibilities.
But a lot of that foundation we kind of carried over.
Well, the foundation. So you have to figure out what your short-term foundation, what is the foundation you're going to build this thing on? And do you want long-term success or short-term success or both? And that's what you have to do. So for Nebraska football, they have the same problem. The Washington Commanders had it, right? To come in, new coach. You go and get talent, and then you have immediate success, but you have to add layers to your success and build up around the foundation so that when bad weather comes, it stays strong. It doesn't crumble. And this year they took some hits. Now you can rebuild and get smarter about how you're dealing with it. But that's sports and college football is in the same boat. College athletics is in the same boat. Some commissioner will come in at some point. They'll figure out they need a commissioner. Somebody, whoever can decide that there needs to be a commissioner
should be the commissioner.
Well, they're going to have to be, or at least find somebody that everybody who privately is in control of college football now that we don't know by name, that we don't call by name,
right?
We don't know by face. We don't call them by name and go, okay, you, John, fix college football or fix college athletics, and that's on purpose. They like being anonymous.
Well, yeah.
They love not being held accountable for this thing, right? Because they're still collecting checks. They're still getting rich. Everybody else takes the heat. All these, 300 athletic directors take the heat. When the reality, and the fans go crazy, the fans are pissed, but who are you going to call? You can't call the commissioner, and you can't call these anonymous board members or whoever they are. So ultimately, somebody will have to come in, and you have to determine that, one, enough is enough. We're not going to deal with this anymore. We're not going to support you. But then somebody has to have a plan for how you want NIL and revenue share to work. And you also have to remember that while football is the darling, it is going to set the standard for how you deal with every other sport.
Yeah, that's not good.
So whatever you put in play for football, there is a monumental lawsuit by the same athletic directors and the other student athletes of the non-revenue sports, that the reason why they're non-revenue sports is because you don't put revenue into it. So got to be careful. So somebody has to have a plan, and it requires smart people to have those conversations, right? It requires, it really does. But I think the right people may be high school administrators, because high school administrators have to, one, you can't recruit. Well, you can't really recruit. You can recruit to some degree, but there are finite limitations to what you can do.
And legitimate repercussions.
You have to learn how to develop, and you have to have a system that carries over, because you don't control the talent that's going to play for you. It's whoever lives in your neighborhood, or at least in theory.
Right.
It's whoever lives in your theory. I mean, Barry and I would walk into a gym, and we had no say-so in who was going to try out for our team. It was in the neighborhood. So we had to have a system that worked for us, that we could put in play no matter what the talent was. So let's bring him in, special late night guest, Coach Barry. Barry Thompson, what's up with you, baby?
Hey man, you know what I always say. It's good and getting better. Too blessed to be stressed.
Hey man, we will take all of that and necessary in place. It is interesting times, and you and I have had conversations about the state of affairs, and we've had to deal with things on the high school level and on the development level, and to try to find some foundation of a thing that would simplify.
Yeah.
And in Barry's, in one of the cases, Barry had to walk into a youth development organization and knock it to the ground to build it up again.
Yeah, it was already on the ground.
Right. It was a mess, right?
Yeah.
And for all the listeners, literally just think of whatever the current student athlete or athletic mess that exists, and put yourself into this, and then say, okay, if you're trying to fix whatever this thing is, here's a way. There is a way. So Barry, you walk into Fairfax.
FPYC.
You walk into FPYC. What you have to do? What first? Identify the problem.
Yes.
Identify.
That was a big thing, because I needed to find out. And then the other thing was, I had no experience doing any of this. It was for your listeners, it was my first touch with football on the non-playing side. So all of it was brand new to me. But I just listened what I was told what was bad about the club. And I kept hearing about communication and organization. So I go, well, I can do that. I can communicate and organize. So what I did was, those were the two parameters that kept getting broadly defined, right? So you could say communication is just sending emails and things like that. But communication for me was writ large. How I was communicating to coaches, communicating to players, communicating to parents. Organization became not just that, I communicate a schedule to parents, but it became, how did I organize coaches? How were practice organized? So those were the things. And if it didn't fit within those things, I didn't pay much attention to it. We got away with some uniform looks that I don't think you could get away with right now. We had mismatch helmets, and coaches were banging me about jerseys and things like that. But I just stayed focused on those things that I thought would fix it. And then the next thing is once it's going, how do you make it win, right? Which is, another thing, just the way people are, kids are, coaches are. You can be doing it for all kinds of reasons, but if it doesn't eventually win, then, you're going to lose people. And I was all about retention and building a program. So that was really, it was a communication organization, just stayed focused on that. And it was writ large. And that seemed to fix most of the things with the problem. It attracted good people, players that were going away started staying in Fairfax City. And, it kept, as we say, people are always attracted to good, right? And you get a sense that something's moving in the right direction, it's being done the right way. Along the way, you have to be really certain about what you're standing for, because there comes times when whatever you're trying to head toward, people want to take it off the rails. And at that point, you have to make a decision. No, that's not taking me to where I think this needs to go. And those sometimes can be tricky situations, because sometimes they can seem like easy fixes, and you got to kind of ignore them and just say, I'm in this for the long haul, or the longer goal of this. But yeah, the communication organization, looking back on it, were two big things that I just hung my hat on. And I just made those concepts as big as they needed to be to cover as many things as they needed to cover.
Barry, a lot of this is simple in that I need to ask, what were the gotta haves and the can't do's, right? Because you walk into a new space,
right?
You have to reset boundaries, and then you have to set mission. You have to lay steps for people planks for people to walk.
Yeah. That was, you bring up a good point, which was, we grew very quickly from under 100 players to close to 300. And so the coaching thing became a big deal, because the thing that I realized that these youth teams needed is they needed multiple coaches. So we built it out to 15 teams, which meant that I had 60 coaches, right? And then how do you direct them without micro? I got a cat in the house. The cat's okay.
I knew that was the cat. I knew that was the cat.
I don't want to look, but the cat's okay. As these things happen, the cat is fine and acting like nothing happened.
Yep.
Something came down. But
Go
anyway,
ahead, radio, bro.
Everybody's okay. Everybody's okay, whatever it is. Oh, man. Anyway, so a big piece of it became coaching these coaches at the same time, not micromanaging, but there were things that I had to put my hands down. So going back to the organization, the epiphany for me was I just decided that if you're going to coach, you got to be a coach, right? Which means that you got to operate like a coach. I don't care if you're volunteer, I don't care if it's ankle biters, but you got to be a coach. It means you got a practice plan. If you're the head coach, you've got to have 3 other people doing things. And so I worked with them closely on that stuff. The boundary that I set down was I told these guys, in my case, that they needed to spend time with the kids, teach them how to block and tackle. And they were really hard-headed about it. They wanted to teach them plays. Mm-hmm. And I said, no, we've got to teach the kids how to block and tackle. And so those were some moments where you had to kind of lay down the law and still allow freedom. Those were the big things. And then just not letting people fly off the handle. If I felt somebody was taking it in a different direction, then I was the course corrector. I didn't have much of it. And what I found out is if you set a direction and you have some integrity about what you're doing and people understand it, that those people that want to go in a different direction, they get uncomfortable really quickly. And they tend to take care of themselves. They'll eliminate themselves. And then you're the better off. It's that what they call addition by subtraction. Mm-hmm. That happens a lot. And, there's some people you'd hate to see go. You'd hope they could see it the other way, but, bye-bye. Because this is, in my case, it was about I kept it focused on the kids. I kept it focused on the main thing. That's another thing that can derail it, right? You get adults involved, they have their agendas, and you've got to keep those adults focused on whatever the mission is. I think in college football, they call it alignment, right? Everybody's aligned, right? That's the fancy word for it now. But if you're just not about this agenda, then you kind of go.
Is that? I mean, here's the thing: we know that it worked on a little league level, and then on a high school level, and then those lessons transfer. They travel really well, to the next level, even to the Big Ten and the SEC, that where people recognize the Atlantic Coast Conference, where they say the rules of engagement, the things that have been set in place by Coach Thompson, go with them. So if that is true, if I ask you to fix most college football programs, what would you say are the things that is it as simple as going back to the foundation of teaching people how to block and tackle and throw a football, right?
Well, I think you at that level, you still, the basics of what I did are true. I think universally true because especially in football, there's only really one way to do football correctly. And it is that there's a clear direction, you're organized and things are moving and everybody knows what they're doing and why they're doing it. At any level, you go to Ohio State right now and you go to the practices, you're going to get this feeling that everything, you go to Indiana right now, right? And you're going to get the feeling that there's one direction this is moving and then everything kind of serves that purpose. It was the same thing when Chip Kelly came on the scene with Oregon and they were fancy and new with zone read and speeding things up. He talked about, they interviewed him, he said, everything in the program is designed to how fast we can go and execute. So that was his thing. I think it's important to have a thing. As far as winning football games and making it simple for coaches, I believe as a coach, you have to have a thing or two things that are going to make the difference. And everybody's got to believe what those things are. What's the guy at Minnesota? He talked about, they did a lot of studies about what are the three elements that really go into winning football games. And I think it came down to chunk plays, not giving them up, and turning over the ball, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's a really simple thing. If you define everything broadly around those three things and you coach those things and you believe that those are things going to lead to winning, it becomes really clear. Pete Carroll, when he was at Seattle and kind of had that run, they were coaching effort. So there's a lot of different ways you can get there, but it should be clear. It does have to have integrity, and everybody has to be bought in to what you're doing and why you're doing it from top to bottom.
With that, is that a chic way of defining or saying that culture and identity have to exist and they have to matter?
Yeah, I guess that is culture. Culture to me is what you do every day. It's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's what you're doing every day. It's not a sign. I mean, signs are great and little things are great, but those can exist. I mean, we can make a bunch of signs tomorrow. Doesn't mean we're going to have a good football team. So to me, the culture is what are you doing day to day?
Well, can you block? Can you tackle? Can you throw the football? Can you run the football? Can you take care of it?
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's funny how these words kind of come in and out of football, right? To talk about culture and this and that. But what are you doing every day? That's your culture. And how are you doing it?
When you walk into these spaces, what are you looking for that tells you that this is a good football team and or program?
Man, I've had two experiences with that. Two experiences. Some years ago when Coach Cutcliffe had finally assembled all of his Ole Miss staff. And matter of fact, I was in the meeting the day Ron Middleton, right? Yep. The name you'll be familiar with. Yep. He was the last one from the Ole Miss crew that got up there with the Ropers and everybody else. They had reassembled that crew at Duke. And I was there, and it was the first practice that I had seen that I was watching how they practiced and how everything was choreographed. And I was like, holy crap. And I didn't know Duke's talent level or any of that stuff. I just walked away and I said, I don't know how a team could practice better than that. And I remember asking Coach Roper, there were two Ropers, and one was the offensive coordinator. And I said, how did this happen? And he goes, well, we have about a 45-minute meeting with the GAs and everything else. And this was them coming right out of that winter period where they're about to transition to spring.
Yep.
And it was just unbelievable. And then sure enough, Duke went on a little bit of a run after that. And then the second experience I had was 2 years ago. I was at UVA. My quarterback, Tony Muskett, was there, and I went down and visited, and I watched them practice. And I go, I don't know about the talent level here, but I don't know how you can practice. I'll give you an example. There was this one segment where they had two offensive units. There were two grass fields side by side, and they had two offensive units on the one field. And what the offensive unit was going against the defense, they were running 4 plays. And they had GAs that were controlling the line spacer. So the line spacer was there for like the sevens, right? And they would snap the ball, execute the play, and the line spacer would move up to the opposite hash for the script, and they would go and run the second play from there. Defense would line up quickly. And then they would run the third play. And then at the third play, if you look behind them, there was another set of GAs getting the line spacer in the first spot, and the second unit was coming on, so that when the fourth play was executed, that second unit was ready to go with their first play. So they're in a segment like that. And in the middle of this segment, I look over to the grass field, and I see assistants kind of look like from afar, like they were planting like little seeds in the ground, different colored things, and they were back to back. So whatever they were doing was going to go in opposite directions. Well, as soon as that period ended on the first field, the players all rushed over, and what was being put on the ground were the pennies for the separate scout team. So there was a set of pennies for the offensive scout team. They put on guard, center, tackle, and they knew where to line up. And the other pennies were for the defensive scout team, and they were putting on, nose tackle, defensive end, linebacker, safety, and so forth. And they went right to it. The script came out, and they went. And it wasn't a thing where they were rushing. They just jogged from one place to the other. They got in their huddle. The scout team was ready to go, and then boom, there's the play. And when you watch that level of organization going on, you go, well, God, the only thing you're missing are some players now. Go get them. Yeah. And then sure enough, they had a season last season that they haven't had in a while.
Two things, Barry. We're going to go break, but two things. One, without naming the program, there's a program that I went to where even that they had the GAs, but the GAs had the pennies on themselves. And imagine that they had pennies. They had GAs who lined up in the different defensive schemes with the pennies having the position that they were playing and the number of the player that they were going to play against that week on the pennies.
There we go. I guess UVA could practice better.
They won but they won a national title.
Yeah, there you go. So it's like those are the details, right? Go ahead. Sorry.
And I'll ask you. So now I got you. So I got to keep you. We're going to go to break. But I'm going to ask you. I asked you about the good things that you can see that tell you what you need to know. I want to ask you about the other things. Those other things where you walk into practice and you go, "Oh boy, oh boy," because those are some ones.
Yes.
Harrison Orange, Barry Thompson. We'll be right back.
The holidays are here, and there's every reason to make Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina part of your plans. Are you heading to a Nebraska basketball game? Stop at Tipsy Tina's before or after for delicious tacos. Meeting friends for drinks for an ugly sweater get-together? Enjoy Tipsy Tina's variety of margaritas. And if you're not sure about what to get for a gift this year, Tipsy Tina's gift cards are always a great idea. Don't forget about the event space at Salt next door to Tipsy Tina's, all of them located in the Haymarket at 8th and Q.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today. Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with 3 weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Here at Midwest Bank, we want to thank all the generous donors who helped us make our 2025 turkey dinner for schools a success. Thanks to the generosity, we raised enough money to provide 191 families across 6 different schools in Lincoln with a full Thanksgiving meal. With your support, we've made Thanksgiving Day for these families a little brighter. We want to wish everyone a healthy and happy Thanksgiving. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Husker fans watch women's basketball, so we can't wait to see you in the stands at Pinnacle Bank Arena this season. Single game tickets start at just $12, making it easier than ever to watch the Huskers from the best seat in the house. Don't miss your chance to witness the energy, the hustle, and the heart of this team live in PBA. Huskers watch women's basketball, so get your tickets now at huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red. Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Hungry for something real? Come to HF Crave, Lincoln's favorite spot for burgers that are anything but basic. Locally sourced Nebraska beef, hand-cut fries, and bold flavors that'll make your taste buds cheer. Whether you're craving the classics or ready to try something wild, they've got the burger that gets you. HF Crave. Fresh, local, craveable. Find them at 48th and Holdridge or order online at hfcrave.com.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here are your hosts, Harrison Arons and Derek Pearson.
Ticket late night Wednesday, 11:33, downtown Lincoln. Joined by Coach Barry Thompson. Coach, we were talking, and I asked the question that when you walk into certain spaces, even especially spaces that you don't control,
right?
And you walk in, you're able to identify positive things that make you feel like, okay, well, this makes sense. And I think that's the right phrase. Like we walk in and go, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then there's the opposite of that. Where you walk into a situation, you will talk to coaches or listen to coaches,
right?
Or you'll watch coaches, and you'll go, huh?
Yeah.
What are the red flags? Like the kids like.
Well, you and I have been probably too often a part of those things. For me, it goes back further than that because I've been in those environments, and for me it starts with they start practice planning, and they start throwing up these large segments at time, and they'll go like, "Hey, we'll have a 20-minute indie." I'm like, 20 minutes of indie? Are you kidding me? I'm like, and it's how they plan, and I've been around some successful high school coaches, and that's kind of how they do it. But I'm like, I work to chop that up. I'm like, in 20 minutes, we could get 4 segments and get some stuff done. But generally, if you're walking up on it, and by the way, back to those practice plan sheets, sometimes they will leave out stuff. Like I can't tell you how many rooms I've been in where I've been in, they start practice planning, and I go, well, when do the quarterbacks warm up? And I go, and like I've had to not fight, but like there's been baseball coaches in the room, and I had to like get to the point where I turned to them. I said, would you ever do this to your pitchers? And they go, no. And I go, okay, well, can we get 8 minutes to warm the quarterbacks up? You know? Mm-hmm. But when you walk up on a field, the fields that we were just talking about, mm-hmm. things are moving. People are doing things. The practice time is being used. When you walk up on another field and you see a lot of talking going on, some standing going on, right? That's when you kind of get a hint like, okay, like what's happening here, right? And then inevitably, most of the time in that environment, you're going to see a long pause, and you're going, okay, what are we doing with this time? I mean, I practically get itchy on a practice field when we're just standing around. I'm like, what are we doing? And I've been around coaches, and I said, look, I put the clock on it. From the time you broke from this period to the time the next thing got started, that took 8 minutes. You know, and if we're doing that for 3 transitions, that's 24 minutes. That's one practice. If we got 5 of them, somebody do the math for me, then you multiply it times 4, we're losing practices. And the bad thing is, the players that need to be developed, those are the reps that they're losing. So the depth that everybody complains about, you're losing it because you got these crappy transitions on the football field. So, yeah, and you'll see things that don't fit together. It should be a correct. You know, football is a part whole sport, right? So that's where the coordination comes in. You know, if you're on the offensive side, the running backs are, you know, they have their indie, but they're working on something, that group, that's going to be related to the team period. Same thing with the quarterbacks and receivers. So when you come together in the team period, you're just watching the whole thing be executed. You don't need long. Did that plan work right? And if it didn't, then you assess it and go back. I've been on fields where they don't film, coach. They don't film. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Like, we got to tape this thing. Get the kickers up there. I'm not making fun of the kickers, but get them and give them the script and tell them when to shut the thing on, when to shut it on. You know, you maybe only want the team period film, but, man, get that film up so everybody can look at what they did. But, yeah, those are things you walk up and you're scratching your head. And the shame of it is some of those teams will actually win games, and you got to go, well, okay, you know. But most of them don't.
Yeah, I mean, they're constant, and we've been in those rooms where we were in the rooms to fix the rooms.
Yeah,
we've been in the rooms where those rooms were terrible and those rooms were great.
Yeah,
we've been in those rooms where we told one of the best coaches we know 2 things that he needed to get better at to go from winning 30 games a year to winning regional titles.
Yeah, yeah.
And the coaches listen. The great coaches listen. Bad ones can't. They cannot cannot accept that. They really can't. It's amazing how it goes. Barry,
yeah,
your young gunslingers work with you, beginning whenever they start, as early as age 8?
Well, no. We're we sneak some 9-year-olds in there, but we're really focused on that 10 to 11.
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead.
So, if we take two quarterbacks or two groups of quarterbacks,
right,
or two groups of quarterbacks and receivers, and we put them under the same leadership with the same verbiage, same mindset every year from the time that they're 10 to the time that they are 14.
Right.
And then take another group that has a different leader.
Right.
Of those drills, in that verbiage, in the assessments. Which group has the advantage?
Well, I know that there's a heavy instinct to saying that, if everything's aligned going up, that kind of makes things better. But here's what I think the real distinction is are you teaching depth to anything that you're teaching a player, right? And go back to our example of basketball. Remember, they want us to run the triangle. I said, no, that's going to be a problem, but I can get players who will be ready to run the triangle if you want to, right? So that wasn't running the right thing. So I know the argument about, hey, the whole, you're in elementary, middle school, high school, you run this system. Yes, you're going to be pretty good at it. But you also want to make sure within that system that you're teaching depth on things that you do. So if I have a group of players and I'm teaching depth and things that they can understand, those kids are also going to be pretty coachable. I'll give you an example. I was talking to somebody about this today. If you ask a quarterback to take a 5-step drop and throw a post, right? And that's under center and he just throws a post. And then that's all you want him to do. And then you start hollering at the player, hey, get the ball down, get your elbow up, that type of thing. Or you can take that same player and you can start getting into the details as to how he drops and why he drops is important, right? Hey, I need you on this midline, one, because it's the most efficient way to get from point A to point B. So the coach won't holler at you about getting the ball out. 2, I need you on the midline because that helps your guard center guard combination because that's what they're protecting. And I need your drop at the exact depth because your tackles are setting based on where they think you're going to be, and that'll help your protection. So doing all that, and then if I add a time element to it and make him understand that you have to process this decision in that time, right? And then I coach him a little bit on the variables as to whether something's open or not. And then I coach him on, if it's not open, what are the body mechanics and footwork to get to the second progression, and I make that relatable as to something happened in the game. That guy could go out and execute a 5-step drop and throw a post no matter what system you have, right? If I'm coaching him that way and putting the things that I'm asking him to do in context. So for me, yeah, these systems are great, but man, I want players who understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. So if you're going to run them elementary school through high school in the same system, man, they better be some smart freaking players, not just guys that are used to doing what they're doing because they've done it more than anybody else, right? I want those guys to be.
Explain the difference in coordinator.
Yeah.
I'll now ask you that question when it comes to group coach, so the quarterback coach.
Yeah.
If you change that quarterback coach every 4 years versus the quarterback who's under the same quarterback coach for those 4 years, who has the advantage? All things equal otherwise.
Yeah, it depends on the quarterback coach. The relationship between the quarterback coach and the coordinator. The way I view it is I'm part of the WNL staff, and they have an OC. And the way I came in there was I said, look, I like what you guys are doing offensively. I said, here's what I'll do. I'll get your quarterbacks ready to execute everything you want them to do. So if you're changing quarterback coaches and that's the mission, then you're going to be fine. But if you're changing quarterback coaches and one of those quarterback coaches doesn't know how to really prepare his quarterback, he doesn't have a lot of experience. I always put it this way. Imagine out there, whoever's listening, that you're a quarterback coach. Go back in the Wayback Machine. You're a quarterback coach for Tom Brady. And Tom Brady's going to walk into that room, and you cannot waste his time, and he's there to get better. Think about the level of detail and preparation that you would have to have in order to sit down and not coach Tom Brady, but work with him to make him better, right? That's a standard that anybody should take, right? And that's not the coordinator's position. That's helping him understand all the things that he may have to deal with in situations so that when a play's called, he understands it in the situation that he's in, and he's fully prepared to handle it and make great decisions. To me, that's the role of a quarterback coach. Now, if you have a good one and you change him out and you put somebody's nephew in there and doesn't have anything, yeah, you're going to have problems. And by the way, I've heard this from some of my Power 5 quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
You would be surprised that sometimes they're not coached. And matter of fact, I've had more than one quarterback in the portal where at a certain level, they were asked about what type of quarterback coach would you want. Didn't get to decide who was the quarterback coach, but wanted input as to what type of quarterback coach he wanted. And I know this guy's answer. He wanted to be coached. He wanted to be coached. He wanted to understand things better, not just run drills like, how does this work? So, yes, quarterback coaches can have an effect.
Yeah, it's a thing of watching teams versus programs and systems, and that sometimes the program can't develop because you keep changing from team to team what the missions are, what the verbiage is, what the rules of engagement are, and that these young people are left far too often to babysit themselves up to the next level. And I just think it's too much, and too many situations where it's there.
People would be surprised.
Yeah, they really would. Barry, I know you're tired. I know you're up late.
All right.
I greatly appreciate it. I don't want Cindy to come get me. You go get 15 extra.
Hey, well, thank you. And Harrison, what up?
What's up, Barry Thompson?
All right, man. Hey, have a great show. I'll be listening.
There we
See you
go.
later.
Bye-bye.
We'll get a break. We'll find out. I will close out this hour and this day and set you up for tomorrow.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Don't be fooled by the typical holiday ads this year. A new car for your significant other is a dream, but not a likely reality. Why not upgrade the current car you have with a detail? This year's hot item is a gift certificate from Nebraska Auto Detail to make your car look and smell fully refreshed again. We all have clutter and we all make messes, but it doesn't have to stay like that. Give the gift of a clean car this holiday. Buy your certificate at NebraskaAutoDetail.com or call 402-601-5086 for an appointment today.
Oh, this menu is a masterpiece, guaranteed to deliver no matter how big the challenge.
This is the worst party ever.
Knock, knock. I brought chicken fingers.
Raising Cane's! The party is saved!
Let's go!
Peter. Mr. Billingsley.
Sorry, got a little lost in the sauce there. Celebrate the holidays with a classic, Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. Hungry for something real? Come to HF Crave, Lincoln's favorite spot for burgers that are anything but basic. Locally sourced Nebraska beef, hand-cut fries, and bold flavors that'll make your taste buds cheer. Whether you're craving the classics or ready to try something wild, they've got the burger that gets you. HF Crave. Fresh, local, craveable. Find them at 48th and Holdridge or order online at hfcrave.com. When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to Late Night in Lincoln live on 93.7 The Ticket. Here are your hosts, Harrison Arons and Derek Pearson.
Welcome back, final segment. We head to Friday, Devaney Center, number 6 Nebraska Wrestling versus number 16 North Carolina. And then Sunday is a full day of hoops, wrestling hoops. There's a hoop sandwich. There's a wrestling sandwich. Girls hoops, wrestling, men's hoops.
Possibility for Chance Lamer too for Sunday. No confirmation.
You're not supposed to be sharing that information. You're a leak now. You're a leak.
It was Mark Manning who shared.
I know. It was funny too. Did you see the national people picked up that story?
Yeah.
The national people picked up the Manning clip and ran it. Crazy numbers behind it.
It's almost like people care about Nebraska wrestling, like it matters.
Crazy traction on that story.
Big deal. Well, people I think know that he's a problem. If he's good.
Well, when they go back and watch the clip, because the moment it comes up, there's a smile that goes across their face. I was not familiar with. There's some 61,000 people on that stream, on that interaction.
I saw Ridge's eyes light up. When I first said it, I saw Ridge and I was like, was I not supposed to prop this one?
Were you not supposed to tell? But they did, they shared the ticket, but they didn't tag the ticket.
Yeah, at least our logo's all over it.
Right. Well, I mean, it's kind of shameful, bro.
It is shameful, but that's Twitter. Welcome to Twitter.
Right.
I saw that first thing this morning. I was like, at least you kind of did it. I've seen worse.
Yeah, but just a simple tag, bro. You're stealing content.
Yeah.
Literally just tag it.
Well, especially because it's like, man, you really screen recorded that? As opposed to just quote tweeting it and retweeting us. He did the screen record on us. He did us dirty. Like, come on. Shout out to the original Evan Mark Manning, though.
Right.
It's a great show in case you missed it. You can still watch it. They really hype up this weekend.
Right. Like, it's still lame. It's so lame to just, what are you doing?
I'm a producer and just sitting here just like recording on your cell phone and then reposting it.
You didn't name the station. I kind of wanted to be that dude.
Just kind of, that would have been funny.
Would have been nice for you to tag the ticket and that you were stealing our stuff.
I've never seen you actually go at anybody though directly. You've been pretty good on Twitter.
Listen.
It's a waste of time to get emotional on Twitter because
I can't. I can't. It's too many. There are too many snakes out there.
A lot of robots.
Just if you're gonna share my stuff, say you're sharing my stuff. Like that's not that complicated. Like he didn't tag you, he didn't tag Manning, he didn't tag Ridge.
No, which is crazy.
He literally captured it, and
I'm a breaking news reporter.
Bro, you are lame. That's what you are. Shame on you, whoever you are. And it's one of those other ones where it's like something wrestling.
It was like,
but you don't share your name, so I can't talk to you.
Anonymous
as a human.
reporter.
Like I can't talk to you as a human being and just go, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it's also that thing. It's the kind of person to say, well, we have X number of followers.
By stealing other people's content on top of that. So it's interesting.
Crazy work. Harrison, thank you, kind sir.
Of course, DP.
Early break kicks it off at 6:00. I'm getting out of here. Have a fantastic evening, and I will see you guys in the morning.